So how do you write your own story? First, it is important to acknowledge that these guidelines for writing your own stories are informed from Carol Gray's guidelines on writing a social story. For more detailed information about writing a social story, refer to Carol Gray's book titled The New Social Storybook. So now let's start with the first step in writing your story. The process of writing your own story should start by first identifying a goal for your story. The overall goal of a social story is to provide socially meaningful information that is accurate and presented in a positive and reassuring manner. It is best if your story has one specific goal rather than many. This way, you can focus on sharing accurate information more efficiently. Having too much information can make the story less clear and therefore also less effective. When selecting your goal, make sure that your goal is realistic and achievable. Try to ask yourself, what does the story aim to help the child achieve? Story goals could aim to reduce inappropriate behaviors, improve social skills, teach an academic skill, teach a functional skill, assist in a transition, assist in a novel situation, and reduce anxiety. Step 2. Now that you have identified your goal, it is important to gather information that can help you, the author of the story, to understand the situation from a child's perspective. Try to think about questions like, why might the child feel frustrated, angry, or upset? Or what may they be misunderstanding? Observations or asking the child to draw a picture of the situation or event can be particularly helpful in trying to work out what might be going on from their own perspective. As you uncover such information, you can then decide on what type of information should be included to help the child understand the situation better. Step 3. Now it is time to start thinking of a title for your story. The title describes what the story is about. A good title should be positive, simple, and engaging. It should focus on what the child can do or what they are trying to do, rather than what they cannot do. The story itself has 3 parts: a beginning, a middle, and an end. The introduction or the beginning identifies the topic in a positive way. For example, every day I wash my body. This is how I keep my body smelling fresh. The main body adds the detail describing the issue or situation that has been identified as the focus of the story. For example, adults and children all wash to keep clean and smell fresh. I like to smell fresh all the time. After I have washed and dried my body, I use a roll-on or spray under my arms. It smells fantastic. The conclusion summarizes the main message and tries to end on a positive note. For example, I love to smell fresh, and so do my friends and family. Now let's go to step 4. Now consider using photos, pictures, clip art, or images in your story. These elements tend to aid in comprehension. To find images, you can either use your smartphone camera, search for artwork or images on Google, or use the SOFA image library. Step 5. Decide on using the first or the third person style of writing. Stories are written in the first or the third person. Statements using you should be avoided, as they can make the story too directive. If you need to explain a negative behavior, you can use the third person. Example, sometimes children find it difficult to share their toys. Step 6. Reflect on the 6 questions that guide story development. Social stories often try to answer questions involving who, what, when, why, where, and how. They describe the relevant people, important cues relating to that situation, time-related information, the reasoning behind events or behaviors, the context of the situation or event, and the required actions or behaviors. These are often helpful questions to consider during the information gathering process. Step 7. Focus on the type of sentence being used in your story. The 2 most frequently used sentences are descriptive sentences and coaching sentences. Descriptive sentences are sentences that describe the facts relating to the situation in a clear and objective way. They are free of opinions or assumptions and can share information that everybody knows. An example includes adults and children wash to keep clean and smell fresh, or everyone needs to see a doctor from time to time. Coaching sentences describe or suggest responses for the child. An example would be, I will try to put my hand up when I want to speak to my teacher in class. Step 8. It is important that social stories are constructive and helpful and not simply a set of instructions telling the child what to do. In order to do this, Carol Gray provides a rule relating to the balance of sentences to ensure that the story describes rather than directs. To check if your story follows this rule, you can complete the following basic steps. First, count how many sentences that describe there are within the story. Second, count how many coaching sentences there are within the story. Third, divide the total number of sentences that describe by the total number of coaching sentences. If this number is 2 or more, then your story meets Carol Gray's criteria. For more information on Carol Gray's guidelines, you can visit her website carolgraysocialstories.com. For more information on SOFA, visit sofa-app.org.